We are proud to have PNU and Guinness, not the beer, from Exodus Privacy. So it's analysis of the behavior of mobile application and its consequences for our privacy.
Thank you. So hello, everybody. And I'm going to start by presenting who we are and what we are doing. So PNU, and my name is Guinness. And we will talk about the behavior of mobile applications, and especially about trackers which are inside these applications, and what we are trying to do to make people aware of the trackers. And who we are a group of French activists, a non-profit organization which was founded in October 2017, and we have an undefined number of members. Like, we are 8 to 10 active people, but we have many supporters and people around us speaking and helping us working. And we have some collaborations with the Yale Privacy Lab, which is a legal issue research laboratory in the US. And we have a collaboration with FTrade also in order to integrate our reports in the FTrade application and platform. And also we obey some strict legal rules in the way that everything we do is legal. So, for example, we do not decompile applications since it is forbidden in France, except for research reasons, and we are not a research laboratory.
Hello, everyone. So what is our goal? As Guinness said, this is to make people aware of the tracking which is done by your mobile. How do we do this? So we develop a platform which is called Exodus. This is a privacy auditing platform. It will identify trackers in mobile application, just Android applications actually, just looking for code signatures. As Guinness said, we cannot decompile applications, so we just statically analyze the files, the APK files, and we look for signatures. And then I think we'll give a bit more details about this in a few slides. The goal of this tool is to really show people and make you understand what is in the Android application, so we don't give judgments to it. We just show what is inside the application so that you are aware of it and you can make your own decisions about this. This is an example of the Exodus application. This is an example of a report about Météo France, which is the public weather forecasts group in France. The application, as you can see, you have some information about the application here, downloaded more than 5 million times. And the important part is on the left, the number of trackers and permissions. So the permissions are pretty simple. We just add the levels on the right, which is defined by Google. They have 3 levels, dangerous, normal, and special. And on the left is the interesting part as well, is that the trackers, it's said that we just found the code signatures of this one, and in this case you have 22. But what is a tracker? Because that's the important part here. Tracker is a piece of software which is meant to collect data about your usage of the application. You have some example on the bottom, like Google Analytics or Timo. On the Exodus application, you can see this is a report page about the tracker. You can see a couple of information about the tracker itself, its name, the location, the website. So this is Flurry from Yahoo. And you can see how we detect it. So here you have a code detection rule and network detection rule. So if we find this code in the application, we will flag and say that the tracker is in it. Here you can see that there is 8,220 reports actually currently in the applications with this tracker. But how do we do this in detail? I will let Guinness say that.
Thank you. So basically, what we are doing is some static analysis of the APK. So we just list Java classes which are embedded in the APK with a tool called TextDump, which is provided by Google. And then, thanks to the code signatures, which are some regular expression, we just match against the Java classes we have found. The tools we are using in the platform, so we have gplay CLI, which is a tool which allows us to download the APK directly from the Play Store in CLI. We use AndroGuard, which is a tool which allows some analysis and work on the APK, and we use it mainly in order to detect the permissions required by the application. And we use TextDump to list Java classes, which is a tool provided by Google and which is open source, so we can check that it works the way we want it to work. And so in a small graph, it is like this. So we have the APK file, which we unzip to list the DEX files. And with TextDump, we dump the Java classes. We have our tractor signatures, and we match it. So what is important here is that we need to know the tracker signatures in order to detect trackers. So we have to build a list of trackers that we know to be trackers. How do we do this? Well, it is mainly people who contribute to it. Like, well, I have seen something weird on the network, and I just look and try to find what is it, which company does, where does it come from, and which company provides this. And the first version of Exodus platform, when it was created, was broadly this, like TextDump and some sorting, and we match.
Thank you. So we have a couple of tools. The first, the one we already showed you, the Exodus web platform. So you can freely go to the Exodus platform. You can search for reports. You can ask for new reports. I think important thing to say is that we don't analyze application all the time. We just do it on demand. So if there is a report that you are looking for and it's not in the application, you can simply ask for a new analysis, and in a couple of seconds, maybe minutes, you will have the report with the permission and the trackers. This is just to show a couple of tools, how it's working. The Exodus core is in Python. The web application is in Django. And we are using a couple of tools to provision our machine and to make it automatically. We have other tools as well to make this more usable for everyone. We have a Android application, which will simply get the list of applications on your phone. It will, for each of them, get the report and show you directly. So here you can see that you don't have to go to the website. It will directly show on your phone the report, and you can open it and see the details. The Exodus application does not have any tracker, obviously. You can check it on Exodus. And it's available on F-Droid and also on Google Play. There's as well Exodify extension. Actually, it was not done by us. It was just done by the community, let's say, and it will add the reports information directly on the Google Play Store web page. So it's quite convenient. You can directly see the number of trackers, and it can give you a link. So directly on the application, you can see number of trackers on the left. If you click on it, for instance, you can see the fourth one on the first row. It's unknown. You can directly submit. It will link you to the Exodus web application web page to submit a new analysis. There is a last tool we can talk about. It is called Exodus Standalone. Actually, it can be used by Android application developers. because that's also important to know that sometimes the developers are even not aware that there are trackers in their own applications. So with this, you can statically analyze your application before you publish it. You just give your APK, and it will show you the list of trackers and permissions in text or JSON. Important thing to note is that this is only on Linux, so it doesn't work on any other platform. Yeah.
Well, I can just complete. So when we created Exodus standalone, so we had some issues, kind of issues. One, we created some reports for the Quant application, so Quant the search engine, and we found some trackers, and they say, what? We don't have trackers in our applications. We are privacy friendly and everything. And say, well, the report can't be false. If we found the trackers, the Java classes were embedded. And actually what happened is that it was included in SDK, included by Quant in their applications. So sometimes the developers are not aware that they are adding some trackers. They are just using some SDK or some starting pack of SDK for new applications which embed trackers. And eventually we created Exodus standalone for developers to check when they are writing their applications to check that they do not embed some trackers.
Yep, I think you can note that they removed the trackers, I think, really quickly, so that could be noted. Yep, I think giving you back.
Okay. So, what are the first results we've had in like 1 year and a few months? So, as I said before, we created the organization in November 2017. And for now, we have identified 152 trackers and analyzed more than 48,000 applications. We help developers like Quant clean their applications, as I said before. And also, we try to provide some advices to developers in order to clean their applications and to respect privacy of the users. And we did also some deeper audits of some applications, like network audit, because what is important is that in our method, it is only a static analysis, so we cannot be sure that the trackers is effectively used by the application. It could be embedded but never called, and then we find it, but it is not used. And so with network audit, you can check if some packets are sent on the network. Okay. And we did some audits for Baby Plus. We have a slide for this, and I will explain just after what we can find on it. It is quite impressive. And also we provide some statistics on which trackers are the most present in the applications, which are less present, how many applications we have analyzed. And we opened the REST API, which allows to query for trackers, applications, the list of all the trackers we have identified. And also we are trying to educate people on the trackers, and so we created some small videos which are for now in French and English. And we have also some subtitles. And the aim is to have some extremely easily understandable videos, like for your children. And it's interesting to see. I don't know how to say it, but just look at it. It's on our YouTube channel and our PeerTube instance. And everything is free and open source, for sure. So the most frequent trackers we have identified, so Google Firebase Analytics and Google Ads, which are in 50%. And then we have a lot of Google and then Facebook and other trackers. And as I said before, Baby Plus. So we installed Baby Plus on an Android device which had never been connected to Facebook. And we launched the Baby Plus application, and we gave some information like the name of the baby. And what we can see on the report, we know that it goes to graph.facebook.com, so the domain which collects data from the trackers. And we can see the gender, the name, if it is breastfed or not, and we know from which application it comes.
Yeah, just to finish, so we are in the press. We got some big coverage in the first 6 months. We are helped by the Yale Privacy Lab to get coverage, for instance, in the Intercept or the Guardian. Yeah, we had a nice visit with the CNIL. We will use Exodus for preliminary investigations. We're on TV as well, but I think we'll just conclude with some final points. How do we communicate and how do we make people aware of this beside our tools? We have stickers. There are some in the entrance if you want when you leave. Flyers. We have, as we said, channels on YouTube and PeerTube. And obviously accounts on Twitter and Mastodon and Facebook. And we use conferences like today to talk about us. And to finish, what's the future? The first point is to revamp the reports. We want to make them as user-friendly as we can because we really want to target everyone. And for that, we want to make as well more videos and podcasts to explain the tracking on mobile, translate our videos, and really gather more and more motivated people to help us. That will just lead me to the next slide. Yes, we need help. Yeah, we really, I think, need any kind of contributions. It can be in code. We have, as we talked about, Python, with Java in the Android application, or as well if you have sysadmin skills, but as well if you want to make videos, translate videos, make any kind of pedagogic content, this is useful for us, or even spread the word. So anything is really useful. You have every information on the contribute page, and we have as well a contact page with all the information if you want to contact us or if you have any questions related to this. And I think that will, yes, conclude our presentation. Thank you.
Any questions?
Hi, I'm Joris. I'm a legal scholar. I have a question about, compliments for your work. This is really great, but shouldn't the apps themselves just be transparent about these things? And shouldn't Google just have a repository of all these things? I mean, they must be scanning the apps statically, dynamically. What is your vision for the future? Where should this transparency be provided? Should your work be necessary in 5 years?
I think that's a good question. For instance, if you use Yelp, which is a tool to download applications from the Google Play Store without Google accounts, they actually integrate Exodus, so you can just activate in the option and they have directly the information. F-Droid as well is scanning their applications with Exodus before putting it in the store. I think it's hard to answer for Google, so I think we'll be happy if they integrate our reports in the Google Play Store. Yeah. Yeah, I think our goal is to make people aware of it. We spread the word as much as we can. But yeah, I think the point is to really target developers because they have to be aware of what they are doing. And at least if they know, if the public knows, then everything is transparent. There any other question? Yep.
Once a user downloads your report and finds out what trackers and permissions are being used, like, what should we do next? What's the next step for someone?
Well, there are multiple possibilities. So you can, if you want, contact the developer and say, well, I have found this tracker in your application and it seems weird to me. So why is it here? Or you can ask to remove it. Or if you not want to contact the developer because you know they won't remove it, you can use an application which is called Blockada, and which acts as a kind of VPN, which will block outgoing packets based on detection rules like DNS names. For example, you can say, I want all packets going to ads.google.com to be blocked, and they will not go out after Blockada. Blockada, B-L-O-K-A-D-A. And it's quite impressive. You have some pre-compiled lists of the name that can be blocked, which are more or less aggressive. You have some very loose list and some very aggressive list, which will block all Twitter.com, for example.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of ways. You can as well use mobile version, the web mobile version if you can, because like this you can more control what you are doing with your browser. You can use another application if there is another one which is more respecting your privacy. But yeah, for instance, Quant, once they were aware, they removed it. Maybe if everyone is communicating about it, everyone will just remove it. Who knows? But yeah, it's a decision you have to do. Check all your apps and make a decision for each of them.
Do you intend to develop a similar tool to IPA-based applications on iOS?
Yeah, good question. Actually, we cannot do that because we cannot check the application because of DRMs. So we are not allowed to do it. But that's a really frequently asked question. What we can say is that often the apps are made by the same people, and the trackers which exist on Android exist on iOS, so you can just assume that it's basically the same. Yeah, thumbs up. Sorry, just come to us. If you have any other question, just come to see us. I think we can discuss outside or after it. Sorry. Thanks.